everybody, and welcome back to Cooking It Real. If you're new here, my name is Kathy, and I'm so glad that you decided to spend some time with me in my kitchen today. What I have planned for today is one of my favorite things in the world to do, and that is making stock. I love to make all kinds of stock, but today specifically, we're going to make chicken stock. And not only am I going to show you how to make chicken stock, I'm going to show you how to can it and get it on your pantry shelf. So let's do it. The first thing you might say is, Kathy, why should I make my own chicken stock? I can buy perfectly good chicken stock in a little cardboard box in my grocery store. Well, you can, but in my opinion, making your own stock is far superior to that, and I'll tell you why. First of all, here's my reasons. I got so many, all right? Aside from the fact that I really like making stock. And why do I like making stock? Well, that's part of the reasons why I think you should do it. Reason number one, it's frugal. That could be the only reason, all right? I'm a Yankee that's living in the South, and I have frugal Yankee ways. I don't know why. I think it's just part of my DNA. Although I have bought a box or two of chicken stock from the grocery store, I've never been really satisfied with the flavor. It just doesn't taste right to me. It doesn't taste like chicken. Chicken has gotten kind of expensive in the past few years. If you haven't noticed, I bet you have. When I buy a chicken, I want to get the absolute most out of it, okay? So I like to buy whole chicken. And the reason I buy whole chicken is two. One, because you get a better price per pound, okay, usually. A lot of times, people buy chicken that's already cut up and things like that, and I have no problem with that. I do that too, okay? That's convenient. Sometimes it's economical, especially if it's on sale, but I am blessed with a husband who you've met, Mr. Will, who loves to debone poultry. I want to get the most out of my chicken, and this is how I do it. We get the chicken, my husband debones it, he takes the bones, puts them in a bag, we put it in the freezer, and when I'm ready to make stock, I do. That way, we get all the meat off the chicken, every single thing, not just the breast. We get the thighs, the wings, the drumsticks, the whole 9 yards, and I get the bones to make fabulous stock. That's a win-win. And reason number two, when you make your own chicken stock, you can control what's in it. You can control the sodium, okay? You can control the amount of fat. You can be sure that there's no added ingredients. So that's just two reasons. There are probably many more, but let's stop talking for now and let's just get to making some chicken stock. All right, let's do it. I have the bones from 2 5-pound chickens in my stock pot, and to that I add 2 gallons of filtered water. I turn the heat onto high and bring it up to a full rolling boil. I use my handheld fine mesh strainer to remove any foam or impurities that is sometimes called scum. This will make for a clearer broth. Once it's come to a boil, reduce it to a simmer, and 2.5 hours later, this is the result. You can see that the level of the liquid has gone down by 1 inch due to evaporation. But now it's time to go on to the next step. After 2.5 hours, I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. Oh my goodness. And now we have to take all of the bones out. And I'm just using a slotted spoon, like so. And after that, we're going to strain the stock and get it ready. Woo! Ow, that's hot still. Oh, I got some on my hand for the canning process. Get it ready for the canning process. I think I got one more bone. Yep, come out of here. There we go. I think that's the last one. I'm just going to, ladle by ladle, take this stock and pour it through the sieve into this other pan. And there are little bits and pieces in here of chicken and chicken schmutz and all that kind of stuff. If some gets in the stock, I don't really care that much. I'm not trying to make like a super clear consomme. This is just your basic stock. If you don't want to can your chicken stock, you can also freeze it. You can freeze it in a glass container with a snap lid. You can freeze it in a plastic deli type container, or you can even just put it in a freezer bag. Any of those ways will work. So what are you going to do with your chicken stock? Let me know in the comments. All right, I'm going to have to tip that up a little bit. So let me just rest this here. Stay. I'm going to get a pot holder and ball it up. Stick that under there. And I think what I'm going to do, because I don't think I have a lot of fat that was in this stock, but I think what I'm going to do is put this in the refrigerator overnight, and then tomorrow when I'm getting ready to can, I can decide if I want to take off any of the excess fat or not. And then if there's just a little fat, I'm definitely going to leave some in because fat is flavor. But if there's more than I think I want, then I'll just take some of that out. All right, friends, that's it for now. I'm going to let this cool. I'm going to put it in the fridge, and I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll show you how to pressure can this. The pot of stock has spent the night in the fridge, and I want you to just take a quick look at the way the fat has solidified on the top. Now, if this had been a solid cap of fat that you couldn't see any broth below, I would have taken some of the fat off. But because these are all like little floating islands, I'm going to leave the fat in because there's not that much. And I want a little bit of fat in each and every quart. So I'm going to put this on the stove now. It's still cold. It's just come out of the fridge. And we're going to bring it up to a boil. And then we're going to get ready to put it in the can. The stock has been boiled. It's still super hot. I have 6, 7, 8 quart ball jars that I have had in my sink full of very hot water. I washed these out with soapy water. These are not brand new from the box. These are ones I've used before. They've been washed in the dishwasher, but they've been in storage for, a few months or so. So I washed them with hot soapy water, and then I kept them in real hot, clear water. And now it's time. Now we got hot jars, hot liquid. I've got my pressure canner on low. It's getting hot, and this is what we're gonna do. All right, here's my handy dandy canning funnel, and we're just gonna start putting this in. And if you want to have stock on hand that, say you are not, you don't make soups a lot, or you don't need a whole quart of stock at the time, of course you can make it in quarts, and then, if you open it, use what you need and put the rest in the refrigerator. But you could also can it in smaller jars, and that way you have the size that fits you the best, if you know what I mean. Now, stock is one of the easiest things to can because you don't have to debubble. Remember, we talked about debubbling in my last video. Now I have to check my book for 1 second and see how much head space I'm supposed to leave for this stock. Hang on. I want to make sure I get it right. Chicken stock, 1 inch head space. Okay, so I showed you my debubbler the last time. This is a little plastic tool that if we had solids, we'd put it down and make sure we didn't have any air bubbles. But if you put this notch on the rim of your jar, then this is 1 inch. So let's see, Can we see this? All right, I still got a little ways to go. Let's see, what's that going to be? Right about at the bottom line. We'll double check and then we'll know for sure. I hope you can see this. You know, a lot of people, you find them looking at their camera when they're doing videos because their screen is, oh, perfect. Their screen is pointed towards them. But they say with an iPhone, you get better video quality if you don't do it in, quote, selfie mode, which would mean you can't see the picture. So I'm just looking at the back of my camera. Of course, no, I'm looking right into your eyes, but I can't see what you see. Ooh, that's why you put a towel underneath, because I just spilled some. All right. 1 inch of headspace. Now, another thing I wanted to mention about pressure canning is that every pressure canner will come with a little manual, all right? It's a little booklet that tells you how to operate your pressure canner, and it also gives you directions on how to adjust your canning for your altitude. If you are from sea level to 1,000 feet of altitude, it's one thing, and then for every so many feet above 1,000 feet of altitude, it's something different. So as far as timing, how long you have to process. So, you know, keep that book, refer to it often. And I don't know if all canners are different. This is the only pressure canner I've ever had, but I would go with the recommendations of your pressure canner, okay? And usually the booklet itself will have some basic recipes. I know mine had one for this Presto for chicken stock. So I would go with that. Now I know that I can fit 7-quart jars in my pressure canner, but I've prepared 8. I'm not sure exactly how much stock I'm going to have, but like I was saying in the last canning video, it's always better to have more jars prepared than you might need than to still have product and run out of jars. All right. So 3. And I can see on the first jar that I filled, that little teeny tiny thin fat layer is forming on the top. And that's fine. That's not going to hurt a thing. And I think I just put into this 4th one a little tiny bit of stuff that didn't get fully strained out. That's not going to hurt anything either. Ooh, I don't think I'm going to get 7. I don't even know if I'm going to get 6. But that's okay. You get what you get, you know? Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get 5. I really enjoyed having chicken stock on my pantry shelf that I've canned myself. And you know, another thing you can do is you don't even have to use raw bones. You can use the first stock I canned was from our Thanksgiving turkey. Like we, you know, roasted the turkey as you do. And then when all the meat was taken off of the carcass, I made a stock from that. And, you know, did it basically the same way. But the bones were cooked. And it made like a beautiful, like golden brown stock. Absolutely delicious. Oh my gosh, I'm only going to get 5. And I might even have to top this off with a little bit of water. Yep, that's going to do it. Hang on. Hang on. I am surprised. Whoop! I am surprised. All right, let's see. I'm going to get as much of this in as I got. All right, I'm just going to add I think just 1 scoop of filtered water will probably do it. Maybe 2. Yeah. Now, if I filled up 5 and had just a little bit left over, I'd probably just put it in a, you know, a Tupperware or something like that and just put it in my fridge and use it up quick. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would do. All right, so we're done with filling that up. Goodbye. Thank you for your service. Off you go. Now we got to put our lids on. Now, all right, I'm turning you down. Like I said, these are jars that I have used before. When you buy brand new jars, they come with lids and rings. But if you reuse your jar, you have to buy new lids. For canning, you cannot reuse a lid. You can reuse lids if you're using your jar for like dry storage. Like if you put sugar or, you know, nuts or chocolate chips or anything in a jar, you can use any kind of lid. But to can, you have to have a brand new lid. Now, just like with the pickles, you want to do it fingertip tight, okay? Which means you take these 3 fingers, and this is hot. So let's see, I might do it. This is kind of awkward, but take your 3 fingers and you just turn it as much as you can with 3 fingers. All right, get my lids. Come over here. Come over here, lids. So as soon as you feel the first bit of resistance, you take your 3 fingers and you fingertip tight. Resistance, fingertip tight. And the last one, I can take this off, I think. Fingertip tight. All right, now I'm going to move the camera and get you over so you can see me putting them in and what we do next. Ooh, I forgot a crucial step. All right. Ding, 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 ding. Pretend you didn't see anything. Oh, we're going to have to take these off for a minute. If this happens to you, hot, and you remember, just do what I'm doing, but don't burn yourself, okay? Come back here, you. Hot. All right, we're going to take the lid off. I have a little bowl and a paper towel, and in this bowl I have some white vinegar, okay? We got to wipe our rims. This is especially important if you're doing anything with meat or fat or sugar, okay? Because you can wipe any rim with a damp paper towel with water, but if it has any kind of grease or oil, you definitely want to use vinegar because that will cut through and make certain sure that it's going to be clear and the seal will work perfectly. All right, so I apologize for missing that step, but hey, this is cooking it real. Things like this happen in the kitchen. And what do? You just keep on trucking. You just go back and fix it. Now, if I completely forgot about it and didn't go back and fix it, well, then it would be like, I'd take my chances. Hopefully, I would be a-okay. But, you know, can't guarantee that. So, better to be safe than sorry. So, I'm glad I remembered. Whoop. Remember, 3 fingers, fingertip tight. And because these jars are so hot, we're going to use our jar lifter to move them into the pressure canner. All right, now another thing about your little pressure canner book that comes with your canner, it will tell you how much water to put in your pressure canner. All right, this ring has a little bump in it. All right, this one looks fine. So make sure you look in there and it will tell you how much. My pressure canner says to put 2 quarts of water in the bottom of the canner. There's a rack and you put in 2 quarts of water and you bring that up to temperature. Now we're going to put these in. Lid off. Do it away from you all the time. Put this here for a minute and use my jar lifter. Three, 4. All right, so spread out a little bit, guys. Nobody has to be bumping into anybody else. All right, we're all good. Now, where's my mitt? Here we go. Let's put this lid on. And this one has arrows that show you how to line it up to put it on. Whoops, whoops, whoops. All right, so you do it like this, and then you turn it. Whoop, come on now. Okay, maybe I can do it without this. It's kind of awkward. It's a little bit hot, but. All right. Now we're going to turn on the heat to high. And what we want to do is we want to wait until we see steam coming out of this vent right here, and it's going to be coming out like a geyser, okay? It might even be spitting some water, and that's okay. But once the steam is really coming out strong, okay, we want to give it 10 minutes. This is a vent. When it comes out of the vent real strong, we give it 10 minutes, and we do that with a timer. And that means that it is starting to build the pressure. It's starting to, the steam is starting to evacuate the air, all right? And then once that happens and the 10 minutes is over, then we take our little weight and we'll set it on top. And then we will watch this gauge, and I'll bring it down so you can see it happen. And when it gets up to 10 pounds of pressure, we'll start our timer. And we're going to be doing this quarts or 25 minutes. That is in the recipe. It would also be in your little book. Okay, it's time to put our weight on now. Be very careful of the steam. Just slap that right on there. And watch this gauge. Because this is on there, it's going to start to build the pressure up. This gauge we want to go between 10 and 11. We don't really want it to go much more than that for our altitude. And I'm going to put this on time lapse for you so you can not have to wait the whole time. Remember, every pressure canner may be different. Once you get close to 10 pounds of pressure, you want to be ready to adjust your heat to maintain the 10 pounds of pressure. Right now, I am almost on high. I'm just slightly down from high. And I am going to start to lower my heat. We want to get it to 10, but we don't want it to go too much more than 11. Once it gets to 10, we start our timer for 25 minutes. And we're there. 25 minutes. And this is not on my biggest burner, even though it's such a large pot. I have found that if I have it down by medium, even medium low, that's when it can maintain the pressure. All right, so I'm going to be watching this over the next 25 minutes. I'm not going to sit here and just stare at it because I kind of know how it goes. But the very first time you use your pressure canner, you definitely want to do something that doesn't take a lot of time, like a stock. Don't do something that's going to take 90 minutes because you want to be able to stand there and watch it and make sure it stays where it's supposed to be. Okay? All right, we'll be back when this is ready. Okay, that's 25 minutes of processing. Let's turn off the heat. Heat is off. And now we wait. Do not remove this weight. Do not attempt to open the lid. We have to wait until this dial goes all the way down to 0 and this little button is flat. Then we can open the lid. All right, we're down to 0. And where's our little thing knocked down? There it goes. It's down. I gave it an extra 5 minutes. Now we're gonna carefully take off our weight. No pressure, as you can see. And we're gonna open this. Let's see. Hot, hot, yeah. Kind of hot, hot. Let me get another thingamajig. And let's just open this up. As always, you want to open the lid away from you so you don't get steam in your face. Oh, there we go. All right, I'm going to take you over here, lid, and let's see what we got. How they looking? Good? All right, now it's time to take them out and set them down. Did you hear that? I think that was the sound of a seal not working. Because it's squirting. Let's see if it does it again. I'm watching this guy right here. Yeah, that's not looking good. Whoop, getting foggy. All right, we're gonna move these guys. Okay, everybody, so it's been about 20 hours since we canned these jars of stock, and I didn't get footage of some of the wacky stuff that happened, unfortunately, but I am going to tell you about it. I did have some siphoning. I think it was this guy right here that was the troublemaker. But then after I took all of the jars out and put them on these towels, they were popping. When the lids are first put on, they have like a domed center, okay? And then when they seal, the dome depresses, and that's how you know that the seal has been made. Well, these guys were sitting there, and it makes a popping sound, and these guys were sitting here on the counter and they were popping. It's like, great, it's sealed. Then they'd pop back up and then pop back down and pop back up and pop back down. And like this one here was going like, making all these gurgly things and splashing around inside. Nothing came out, but I was like, I have never seen this before. And I think I know what happened. Remember when I put on the lids and the rings, and then I realized that I had forgotten to wipe the rims of the jars, and I took everything off and wiped the rims and then put it back on? Well, I think because I had hot jars, hot stock, when I put those lids on the first time and put the ring on, it was already starting to make the seal, okay? And because I took it off, I interrupted that. And when I put it back on, sort of like, I don't know. So anyway, like I said, it's been about 20 hours. These have been sitting here. I've been thinking about it all night long. Is it going to be sealed or isn't it? Now, I will tell you, I will see if I can show you even. I don't know if I can though. But the lid, the jar lid itself is depressed. Okay, it's not popped up anymore. So it should be sealed, but I don't know. There's the one way to tell for certain. So let's do that. See how the fat has congealed on the top? All right, let's just take off the rings. Now, because this one siphoned and it kind of squirted out, all of them are kind of have some stock on them. So they'll have to be washed up. You should wash your jars anyway before you put them away. We're cooking it real, and here comes the moment of truth. This is how you test for sure that your seals are good. You just grab a hold of the bottom of the lid, and if you can lift it up like this, it's good. All right, let's see this guy. It's good. Let's see this weirdo who, oh, it's good. Let's see this guy. Oh, he's good. Ooh, he's heavier than the rest. Why is that? And now this guy, my big question mark. Let's see. All right, here we go. Oh, it's good. They're all good. Yay! All right then. All right, so now I'm going to wash these up, and then they're going to be going to the pantry. Cooking it real. Well, thanks for spending your time with me, everybody. And I look forward to seeing you again on the next Cooking It Real. Bye.